I'm Marie. So I'm going to be doing what's called the sending exercise with Denise. This is Denise, my lovely lady over here. I've been working at Double Diamond Hill for the end of this month will be a year. It's April for the recording. So I started actually as a student here a little over 2 years ago. And I kind of just hung around enough to where they were like, do you want to work here? And I was like, well, yeah, I want to work here. And so I had a full-time job, so I just kind of did part-time. And now I work full-time here. So it's pretty awesome. I love this job. I love working with horses, and they've taught me a lot. Granted, I am still learning as always. So it's not always going to be perfect, and it's not always going to be pretty. But I'm going to try, and she's going to try. Sorry, girl. So I've been working with Denise for a little bit over a month now. So basically, we want to make sure before you get to this exercise that you have a lot of trust with the horse that you're working with, because we're going to be working in close quarters. In this exercise, I'm going to be sending her between myself and this wall right here. So she can easily kick me if she wanted to. So we went through a lot of other stages to get to this point. So you don't want to just grab a horse and do this exercise. This exercise has a lot of practical purposes. One of them being, once they learn this, I can send her through this doorway with me just standing on one side and not having to move at all, and she can go through and come back. You can load your horse into a trailer with this exercise. So I can stand, if the trailer's here, I can stand next to the trailer, and I can send her in front of me into the trailer. Because sometimes there's those 2 horse trailers that you can't go into to pull your horse into. And so having them learn to be able to go in on their own is very important. Yeah, so it's basically sending them in between or through anything that maybe is scary that you don't want to do with them under saddle. So it's very helpful exercise. Like if there's a big puddle that they're scared of, you can send them between you and the puddle, then through the puddle, depending on how far you get in that exercise. So it's just a safer way to get them through something scary. So yeah, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna lunge her around me for just a second, get her thinking a little bit more, because there's a lot going on today with the farrier, the horses winning and all that stuff. So I wanna make sure, she's actually calmed down quite a bit since coming in here. You can tell she's not like trying to move into my space quite as much. She's standing very still. Her head has like lowered. It was kind of like up here a few minutes ago. And now it's lowered down, so she has calmed down a little bit. I just want to make sure she's thinking about me, because again, we're going to be working with her in between the wall, so we want to make sure that she is thinking about me and not about everything else. So we're going to do a little lunging for respect really quick. This is a good exercise again. If your horse is kind of like how she is, she's a little nervous, there's a lot going on, it gets them thinking before you get under saddle again. So I'm going to point. She's not going. I'm going to swing my stick in a windmill. Once she walks off, I'm going to stop swinging my stick. So my belly button is currently facing her rib cage, so she knows to keep going forward. And I usually always just start at a walk with her. She knows that, just because she gets a little sore on her front end, and I want to warm her up first before I just have her start going at a trot. And so she got a little excited. She heard some noises, so she kind of broke into a trot. So I'm just going to stay calm. Easy. Here you go. Easy. And I'm going to keep my stick down so it's not adding any additional pressure. And she'll start to kind of calm down. Easy. So if she doesn't, then I'm going to stop her feet. And break her out to the other way. So I'm pointing with my hand that's in the rope, that has the rope, and then I'm using the stick to close that door behind her, so she only has one option to go, and that's to my right. Again, we're just starting at a walk. So this is stage 1 of lunging for respect, where you're going to, instead of just changing direction, you're going to stop your horse to change direction, and they're going to give you 2 eyes. And so her butt is kind of getting a little close to me, so I'm going to just put pressure with the stick and put it back down. You don't want their butt close to you, because then she's in a close enough proximity to where she could kick me if she wanted to. I don't think she will, but you just never know. So then when I want her to go a little quicker, I'm going to point with my rope hand. She's not going, so I'm going to cluck. And then I'll put my hand back down, because she knows what to do now. So then her ear is on me. She's licking and chewing, which means she's thinking a little bit more. She's feeling more relaxed. She's listening to me. She still kind of has like an eye on what's going on out there. She knows her baby's out there. There's stuff going on. That's okay. So now I'm going to stop her. I'm going to pull towards my belly button, step on her tail, and she's going to give me 2 eyes. Good girl. This is a closer proximity that you would do with a horse that you trust again. I think I'm out of the frame. Than what you would do with like a new horse. You don't want them that much in your space. Okay, so now we're going to do the sending exercise. We're going to kind of line up over here against the wall. Ooh. See how now she's stopping when I stop? She's listening to me a little bit more, because we kind of already worked just a little bit. So she's going to do that same thing. She's going to give me 2 eyes, but it's going to be on the side of me, and it's called yielding the hindquarters. So I'm going to send her, and I'm going to start kind of farther back, because I want to have a starting point of like, I don't want to be super close to the wall, because then she's going to feel claustrophobic. Horses naturally will feel that way. So I'm going to have my belly button facing the wall, and you guys can stand on the camera side if you can't see. Also, feel free to move. I'm going to point with my rope hand again. She's kind of unsure, so now I'm going to tap, 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 tap. There we go. I'm stopping tapping. Her tail is going past my belly button. I'm going to yield her hindquarters, and she's going to stop. She's in my space, so ideally she would stop a little bit farther forward, but this, I'm going to take that because she yielded her hind nice. She's kind of still level with me, and she stopped when I asked her to. So that's honestly the best that we've done. The bird's kind of frightened her a little bit, so I'm going to keep her out of my space. So before this, we worked a lot on backing, so she knows that when I want her to back, when I do that, she will back up. So again, this is a lot for safety, for your safety, because I'm working very close in her space. Okay, so again, we're going to, and I'm going to try and keep my belly button always facing this wall and have her move, and I'm only going to step out of this circle when, or like my space, when I want to yield her hindquarters. So I should ideally not be moving my feet. She should be the one doing all the work. So now I'm going to point. She's coming towards me, so I'm going to tap her on the shoulder. I'm going to pull towards my belly button, step on her tail. Good girl. And so I'm going to try not to take any breaks. There you go. So I pointed and she kind of moved. She got behind me on that one. That's okay. So I'm going to back her up. So when I point, I want her to go. And the stick is additional pressure if she doesn't go on the first ask. So I'm going to point. She's kind of in a weird spot, so I'm going to point towards the wall. I'm going to drive her shoulder away. I'm going to pull towards my belly button, step on her tail. She's feeling a little unsure still. That fireplace is right in her way. So she's feeling unsure on that side because it's pretty close. So I could move down the wall a little bit so she doesn't have that nervousness, but I'm gonna have her work through it a little bit because she's not super nervous about it. Tails past my belly button. So now she's getting kind of too far behind me on this side. So that tells me that I need to kind of pull her nose towards the wall a little bit more, because she's pretty good on this side. Like, she's almost level. I mean, she's pretty level with my shoulder when I face the wall, but on this side she's kind of wandering back a little bit. So when I ask this time around, I'm gonna pull her nose towards the wall instead of pulling it towards my belly button, just so she gets that pressure to come more towards the wall instead of back. So we're gonna try it again. So again, I'm gonna ask with my hand. She's already going, so I don't need to use my stick. I'm gonna pull towards the wall. See how she ended a little bit more parallel with me instead of coming, because she was like almost directly behind me the last time. So each time is gonna get better if I keep consistently doing that. So I'm gonna ask with my hand. I'm gonna drive her shoulder away. There we go. I'm gonna pull towards my belly button, step on her tail. Okay, well now you did it on this side, sis. So we're just gonna keep moving. This side, I know I need to pull towards the wall. And when she comes towards me, I'm just gonna back her up. And you wanna back her up relatively quick when she does it. Pull towards my belly button, step on her tail. And I'm gonna keep this motion. She's pretty calm. So as soon as she gets a little bit better on this left side, even if it's just a little bit, that's when I'll give her a break and a release. So I want to keep working with her until we're at a good spot to take that break and end on a good note. So we're just going to keep kind of going, because I don't want her to have like any rest time in between. And so we're just going to keep going until I feel like that one right there, that one was much better. She stopped right when I asked her, and she didn't move her feet anymore. So I'm going to give her a little bit of a break because she did so well on that one. While we're taking a break, do you guys have any questions so far? No? Okay. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of like different movements. We've practiced this maybe like once or twice before, but my corrections weren't as strong as they should have been, so she didn't pick up on it as quick as she could. But you see, once I identified that she was kind of coming behind me, I said, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to pull her face towards that wall a little bit more so she knows she needs to stay parallel with me as much as possible. Now, granted, I probably could have her back up a little bit more, and I probably will before I ask her to go again, because we're kind of like in each other's space. But when we have a win, we want to take it where we can get it, because then she's going to have more confidence the next time. And then if I keep on those corrections very consistent, she's going to learn from those corrections and know that, okay, this is what Marie wants me to do. This is what I need to do. And so then she'll keep doing that from then on, ideally. I mean, we're humans and we still make mistakes. They're going to make mistakes too. So, okay, so we'll back her up. Just get her out of my space a little bit. She's kind of hesitating, so I kind of added a little bit more energy towards her. She's getting distracted by the stuff that's going on again, so we're going to get her feet moving. So I'm going to take my left hand and point. She's not going. So I'm going to tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to, once she walks, release that pressure, pull towards my belly button, step on her tail. You can tell she's a little bit distracted, so we're going to keep going. Pull towards my belly button, step on her tail. I didn't pull towards the wall that time, so that's my bad. So we're going to keep her going. Pull towards my belly button, step on her tail. So it looks like on this side now, we're having to pull towards the wall. And when you make a mistake, that's okay. You can just continue moving on. There we go, that one was better. So she's kind of getting in my space a little bit, so I'm going to tap her. There we go, that one was better. But we're going to keep moving. And you don't want to quit too early. Nope. I'm trying to make sure she corrects and I don't move my feet. Pull towards my belly button, step on her tail. She's still going, so we're going to pull towards the wall. You're supposed to be getting better. So she still kind of ended up close to me. Again, we're just going to keep working at it until she gets better. And I get better, because I'm messing up too. So this one I know I need to pull towards the wall, step on her tail. That was better. I'm going to back her up. Now I'm going to ask her again. She's still distracted, so we're going to tap, 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 release when she walks. Pull towards my belly button, step on her tail. I had to pull towards the wall on that one. She ended up behind me. That one was better. So now she's getting better on this side, worse on that side. So now I'm going to do the same thing like I was doing on that side. So I'm going to pull her towards the wall. Good girl. So if she's kind of crowding into my space too, the other thing I can think about is how far I'm holding the rope. So maybe I'm pulling her too far into me when I'm pulling towards the wall and when I'm pulling that slack. So now that I've kind of identified that, okay, she's coming into me repeatedly. So it's either something I'm doing, most likely something I'm doing, or something she's doing. She naturally is going to want to gravitate towards me, so that's why you want to correct and have them back up as much as possible. Because she sees me sometimes like as the release. I give her pets, I give her love. And if she comes towards me, that's great and I want that, but again, like we talked about earlier, only when invited. So we're going to keep her moving. I'm going to ask her with my hand, tap. And you want to tap in beats of 4, just like when you're riding. Pull. There we go. So I'm trying to be cautious of how much slack I'm pulling now. But that time she stopped, but then took a step forward. And she was in a pretty good position, tap, tap. When she stopped, still maybe a little too close. But she took that step forward, so I had her back up. Tap, tap, she's going the wrong way, so I'm going to tap her shoulder, get it to move out. She just felt unsure, so maybe my arm wasn't high enough that time. So I'm going to get her to start moving a little bit faster, so then we're going through here a little bit faster, so she has less time to think in between. There we go. And this takes a lot of juggling on the hands. And granted, I probably could be better at it, and this is why we practice. Because like, this is something that her and I are working on together. And so as she gets better, I'm also going to get better. Tap, tap, tap. And if you notice, like I haven't moved really closer to the wall. She's in my space again. Because we're still kind of working through some of the bugs, and I don't want to add something until that one was much better. So I'm going to stop her for a second on that one. So she didn't quite yield exactly the way that I wanted. Ideally, she would be a little bit more straight, but she's not over there. So I'm gonna take it as a win that she's not over there and that she's more in line with me. So it's just, even those small things is like, even like as humans, like we should celebrate those things of like, I did like X last time, but I didn't do it this time. So that's a win too. And so we do the same thing with the horses. Is like, they're not gonna learn from constant like, yeah, like go, go, go. They're gonna learn from the release of the pressure, and anything that they did and they tried, we're going to make sure we celebrate it by releasing. So it doesn't have to be super long. That was probably too long because I yapped for too long. So about 5 seconds or so can be like a release. That one was good. Pulling towards the wall because now she's off on that side. So now we're gonna get her to go again. Go, go, go. I'm gonna pull towards the wall. And the other thing like I'm noticing about myself too is like, it is a lot to think about all at the same time, but I'm not correcting her backing up quite quick enough. It should be a little bit faster than that. On this side, she's staying pretty well, like a good distance away from me. But on this side, she's kind of coming into my space. So right as she comes into my space, I'm gonna back her up. And so maybe I need to back her up more spaces so she understands that coming into my space means she has to work harder and back up farther. Because at this point, like I can back her up from here without moving my feet. So now she knows we need a little bit more space. Because I feel like, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, I'm not pulling her close to me on this side. So it's her doing it, and I'm trying to correct it as I go, but maybe this is the correction. So we're gonna try something else and see how that goes. So now I can ask her, she didn't try and come towards me at all when I was chatting. So now we can ask her to come towards me, but once I stop that pressure, she stops. So we make sure like we have a relationship of like, when I ask, you can come, but when I'm not asking, I want you to stay where you're at. Because as I'm pulling this, it's adding pressure to the top of that halter. So she knows that she can come towards me, but when my hand, I stopped asking, but when my hand goes down, it's not pulling that pressure anymore. So she knows to stop. So we're gonna just ask from there. So I'm gonna point up high. Her shoulder's kind of coming towards me, so I'm just gonna tap it away. Let's see if we can get a good one on this side. Pull towards the wall. That one was okay. Could definitely be better. So I'm gonna make sure I pull towards the wall really well. I'm gonna pull towards the wall really good on this side because I know she kind of comes back. Not aim for the camera, hopefully. So now she knows, she sees it behind her now. So now she knows she's not supposed to come that close to me. I'm gonna tap her shoulder. She's kind of aiming it towards me. Pull in that slack, pull towards the wall. I'm just gonna try and get a few done really quick. Pull towards the wall. That was better, but her yield was a little lazier. And she's kind of coming in my space, so I'm gonna tap her. I was more worried about her coming into my space than her yielding that time, so I'm just gonna send her back around. Pull towards the wall. There we go. She's still in my space. That tapping is getting her. So we're back to not great on this side. And when I'm tapping her, I'm literally just tapping her. If she needs more pressure, then I'll add more pressure. But really, either tapping the air first and then tapping her will do. Point, send her through. Her tail is past my belly button. Pull towards the wall. There we go. That was much better. We're gonna keep going because she's still kind of bad on my left side. So I'm gonna keep going as much as I can. That was much better. She's getting distracted. Point, tap, tap. Pull towards my belly button, pull towards the wall a little bit because she's getting out of it. Pull towards my belly button, pull towards the wall. She's walking in my space. Now I'm gonna ask again, just so she doesn't get a release even though she had to back up. I wanna keep her feet moving. That's much better because she'll start thinking more the more that her feet are moving. Pull towards the wall, yield. She's walking in my space. I want to stop on a good note on this side is what I'm looking for. So she's a little bit better on this side. So what I'm looking for is to stop on this side better without her walking into my space. And then now I'm gonna ask again. Tap her shoulder and get it away. Pull towards the wall. Get her going on this side. Okay, so she knows that she's got to get out of my space. So there's something wrong with the communication on this side where she's, so I want, also I'm right-handed, so some of that could be it too. But she's walking into my space too much. So now I'm gonna ask, pull forward, point, tap her shoulder away. Pull towards my belly button, towards the wall. You're all right. So when she makes mistakes like that, you just wanna stay as calm as possible. They're going to happen. That was much better. They're going to happen. Just correct and move on. We don't want to make a big deal out of it. If she does it, like, because that was like once or twice that she came behind me. And so if she makes a big habit out of it, then we're going to correct more firm. But I'm gonna give her a little bit of a chance, like I'm still correcting her, but give her that little bit of a chance, like, oh, this could be a one-off situation. Again, there's a lot going on, so she's a little bit distracted, but I would like her to pay attention to me more than what's going on out there. And again, if she was still like that, I might go back and lunge her and work her harder, like have her trot for longer, and then go back to it again. So it kind of just depends on what the situation is. It is always dependent on what they're doing and what my reaction to it is going to be. Okay, so do you guys have any questions? We have time for some questions. No?
What's her story?
What's her story? So we've had her for I think a little bit over 2 years. She was newer when I got here, I think. She was used for lessons for quite a while, but then we sent her out to breed, and she is the mom of the baby that we have out there, the Palomino baby. And so she had him in like August, and so she's been off for like almost a year. We rode her while she was pregnant for a little while. But she, like I said, she gets a little lameness in her front end, so she's like touch and go sometimes with lessons. So now that she like doesn't have to feed Finn anymore, she's able to start working some more, and so I'm going through and kind of like, she's helping me learn, and also I'm helping like tune her up a little bit, like get her back to like working brain and not just like hanging out. So and it helps. Obviously, like a little bit more work is going to help with her forequarters, because it's not anything that is wrong that we found. It's just like a stiffness. She's 16 or 17, I think, so she's getting a little older. She's not old by any means for a horse, but she's a little older, so she's going to have a little bit more soreness naturally because she's an older horse. But we do everything that we can to help her. And if you watch her, like when she was trotting around, she really wasn't having like a big limp or anything. So working her a little bit more, and I've been kind of gradually like upping like how much she trots and things like that, and canters in the round pen, just to kind of slowly build up those muscles, because you can't, I mean, even as a person, you can't go to the gym and hit it hard and expect to be just fine the next day. So it's the same for her. You guys have any other questions? No? This is something that we do offer in lessons when, like, we'll do groundwork and things like that, and we'll start to kind of gradually get up to this too. We offer those training lessons where you only work with the horse on the ground and you do only these exercises. So the sending exercise is a little bit, it's kind of like towards the middle of the groundwork. So first you do round penning and backing them up, so then they know like how to quickly and safely get out of your space when you ask. So that's why she knows how to back up out of my space when I ask. I don't want to push her too far, because that last one was, it kind of like, it went like this. And so that's kind of how it goes. And like, again, I'm still learning, so there's a lot of things that I'll watch this back and be like, ooh, shouldn't have done that, or I wish I would have did this better. That's why recording yourself is a huge help, because as you're doing it, you feel like you're doing it correct. But as I watch myself back, I'm like, oh, I should have been more firm with this. I could have done this instead of this. Like I'll watch a video or like do a little bit more research and kind of like see maybe there's a different answer for this, because I'm still running into this problem. Most of it is just being firm in your correction. I found is like, you kind of have to like nip it in the butt, like quick. Is like, she's coming behind me, okay, we're going towards the wall until you can start stopping like next to me. So, but she's a great horse. She is like a little mix of everything. She gets a little nervous, but she's not so reactive to where it feels scary when she's nervous. So that's why she's like a nice kind of early training horse to have, because she has like those tests, but they're not pushing it to where I feel scared. So then it kind of builds my confidence as a trainer along with her. So then like the next horse, it's gonna have different problems, but I will feel more confident going into corrections. So for me, that it helps me a lot, because she's a little different than the other horses that we've worked with. Because sometimes like we'll work with like the older horses like Biscuit or Chief, and they're a lot more like calm. They have their little things, but they are a lot more relaxed. And so going with a horse that has those that nervousness is nice. Cool. Well, I appreciate y'all coming. Sorry we're always gonna have to have a little bit of setup, but we were running a little late this morning. So is there anything else that you guys want me to go over, or any questions that you have on anything else that you've been trying? I know today's your first lesson in it, so that all of this is a lot different. What about you, Evelyn, right? Yeah? Do you take lessons? Yeah. What have you been working on so far?
Backing up the horse.
Backing up on the ground?
No,
Well, in saddle? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So some of it will start too, like with being able to back them up on the ground too. So I think some of it helps like seeing it from far away, to like yielding their hindquarters. We kind of talked about this a little bit, Emmett, is like you'll be able to see how their movement is on the ground, and then it'll help you in turn in the saddle as well. So a lot of that is super, super helpful with learning how it's going to feel in the saddle, even though you're not feeling it on the ground. You kind of see it, so you know what to look for a little bit, because your view is hindered a lot by being on top of them. So, awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys coming.